Hello, hello. My name is Yvonne Wadley, and I am a lead director here, brand new executive with this amazing company. And I just have 5 little tips for you guys that have worked really, really well, not only for me, but for my team as we were pushing for this promotion. And some of these you might have heard, and you might, but we tweak a lot of things, and hopefully there'll be something that you can take and apply, and then you can hit whatever that you're going for, right? So first of all, we have to align our heart with our mind. A lot of times our heart knows what we want. It really, really does. It's like, I want this, I want to hit this rank, I want to make this amount of money, I need to do this, I want to be able to contribute this much to the Brighter Together Foundation. Whatever your goal is, your heart is always going to know like what you want. It's the mind that sometimes needs a little shift and gets stuck, and that's where like the negative self-talk ones, right? And all the that's when it all starts, and then all the defeating thoughts and all the stuff that it just kind of pushes us down, and then we're not able to do the things that are going to take us to reach that goal that our heart knows so bad that we really want, because we're stuck in our mindset. So mindset is a big, big deal. Dawn talked about it yesterday, and I'm not going to elaborate too much on it, but there is a huge battle in between those two. So we have to make sure that we're grounded and that we're centered and that we know what our goal is, and regardless of what our head is and the head chatter, that we quiet it down so that we can focus on what our true mission is and our why we're doing what we're doing, right? So then number 2, we're going to go with be open to constructive criticism. And this is not going to be to tear you apart or to disempower you. I mean, the fact that you press the like button alone, it is already a win, right? But there's certain things that might need a little tweaking here and there, and we can help you do those things. So be open to it. If you don't have somebody that's offering it to you, go find someone that you trust and say, hey, can you look at this video? Like, what do you think? Is there something that you would change? And also know that that person's version of what it should be like might not be your version of what it should be like, or somebody else's version of what it'd be like. So you have to take in consideration that too, and also that you are trying to project this information or give this information to your customer base, not necessarily to that person's network or that kind of stuff, right? So I highly encourage to be open to constructive criticism, because it's going to make you see things on a different perspective that maybe you haven't thought of, because you've been stuck doing it a certain way for so long sometimes, or you just think that that's the way to do it. So a lot of times you can get like a lot of fresh ideas, and then you can really explore other things. And then get involved. My number 3 tip is going to be to get involved. That has been like a huge asset. For me, LimeLife is my first direct sales. I never did anything like this before in my life, and I'm so grateful to be here. But a lot of the growth that I've had, like that alone is incredible, but a lot of it has happened because I've gotten involved. So get involved. Do trainings. We've all had our lives, and they all look so different from each other's. So we all have things that we can contribute to the big picture, right? So if your leader offers, hey, who wants to do a training? Step on it. Just do it. Just go and do that training. Study the content. If you don't know exactly like what you want to say, just study it up and provide the information. You don't have to be an expert. Like, as long as you know 5% more than the people in the group, you're good. Like, they're going to learn something from you, you know? So get involved in doing trainings. Get involved. If they need graphics made, make some graphics. If they need a challenge put together, do the challenge put together, because when you start doing all those things as you're growing in your business, by the time you're with a bigger team or in an executive level, you already know how to do all those different things. When it's your turn to kind of put all this big picture together, you've already been doing it, so it's a lot easier to get care of it, and it's not going to be so overwhelming, right? So, and then you always can have somebody kind of coach you through or offer to help. So then between the two of you guys are doing it together, so you're learning different techniques and different ways to do certain things, and then you can help by putting your input into the project. And also you're by getting involved, you're also submerging yourself in the culture, and you're gonna find that you're gonna meet people while you do this event, or while you help here, while you help there. You're gonna find people that you click with, and then we go back to those can be the people that you're gonna trust to do your constructive criticism. Then we have number 4. We're gonna do let's have a plan and be intentional with our actions, right? So let's have steps and honor our commitments. So write them down. For me, writing it down is always so much more like, okay, this has to happen, than if I just think it or if I just say it. So I always write it down, and I always have like an accountability person that's always going to, and again, it goes back to who is this person going to be that can call you out when you're not doing the things, and do that, right? So then make sure you honor your priorities. So if you say, this is what I'm going to do, and you get home and you're tired, or your dog just made a mess and now you gotta clean that up before you can go live, or before you finish whatever newsletter that you were gonna work on that night, or whatever. I understand that you're exhausted. I understand that a lot of you guys work. I understand that you guys have babies. I understand all those things, and there's nothing wrong with resting. But when you're going for a promotion, or when you're really trying to make this business work, you have to commit to yourself, and at least do like the things that you committed to yourself. So if you have a list of 10 things and you're like, okay, but my 3 priority things, like non-negotiable things, are these things, do those things. Be accountable to yourself for those things, and prioritize your commitment to yourself, because that's going to take you a long way. Be consistent. That's the only way that you're going to create momentum. Ashley Emerson is my sponsor, and like the first week that I got in, she was doing a training in our page, and she talked about the snowball. I'm sure other people have talked about it, but that was the first time that I ever heard it, and it just makes so much sense. So I'm going to share that with you guys. So if imagine a snowball, right? It's rolling. So if the snowball just sits there for a while, it's going to start getting flatter and flatter and flatter. So then when it starts to roll again, it's going to be a lot harder for it to start rolling and picking up momentum. So don't let the snowball stop rolling. Even if it's a slow roll, just get that ball, still stay rolling, because that's going to keep your business healthy. That's going to maintain your customers, maintain your social media interaction. If you run through social media, your business, you have to obviously work it. If you do events, make sure that even if you do scale down your events, still have some though, like you still want the ball to keep rolling, even if you have to slow it down at some times of the year or whatever, but make sure that there's a continuous rolling of the ball, right? And then my last thing will be to get a support system in place, and get a mentor that you respect. So there's a lot of us here, right? And our personality might click with this person or with that person. So you just have to find the person, and usually a person that is like on your same level, or even like a person that's 2 levels above you. That's like recommended in a lot of other like workspaces, because then they already did what you're doing right now, and they can provide input in a different way. And obviously you can have multiple mentors, but having that person to call you out and keep you accountable, and encourage you when you're exhausted and you're like, I'm done, I'm just gonna quit. To have that person to be like, no, you need to regroup, you're just tired, let's take a pause here, and then let's move forward. Or when you're like, oh my gosh, we're on fire, and that they're just as excited for you winning as they would be if they were winning. Like, that's the friend, that's the person that you need. So if you don't have that person yet, make sure you're like looking around and building those relationships. And again, by volunteering and doing all that, you're going to start finding those people that you're going to have more similarities with, and lifestyle things maybe that will going to connect you. But that's all I have for you guys. Thank you guys so much, and I hope this is super helpful, and I'll see you around. Bye.